people really underestimate how nice it feels not to have anything under your feet except for the earth. I mean, because when you think about shoes, there's that huge, thick sole, and even for shoes like Vibram, there's still the layer in between, and you really miss out on a lot of the textures and the feelings, and even just like the temperature of the earth. You can feel, without wearing shoes, you can feel the difference between what's alive and what's dead, what's made by man and what was there by nature, and just things like that.
I started going barefoot in the warm places when I was little, around the house, in the yard. Usually where I'd be barefoot would be in the dojang when I was practicing, taekwondo, aikido, judo class I'd take, kickboxing course I'd take. Never wear shoes in any of those, but I mean that was never part of the whole not wanting to wear shoes idea or wanting to be barefoot. That was just what you did there. I do think that had a lot to do with me being used to being barefoot, and a lot to do with me wanting to be barefoot while active or engaged in activities or sports. To me, it always just made sense. You don't wear shoes. Like, shoes get in the way. You can't feel the ground. You can't feel the contact you have. My taekwondo master, when we go hiking, he wouldn't wear his shoes, and of course, I wouldn't wear my shoes. I was encouraged for that. He says it's good for your balance. It's good for your health. I would hike in the woods and go on walks barefoot. It always just felt natural. Always felt better.
I started because I realized how uncomfortable shoes were, and also how tender they made my feet, and how much they hurt my ankles, and generally just how unenjoyable it was. If you don't need them, I don't think they're worth wearing. I mean, they're nice on like long hikes or if you gotta walk over a bunch of concrete. But even then, they just make your feet tender if you don't wear them and you try to go barefoot. I used to not even be able to walk across pavement barefoot because I was so sensitive. But ever since I stopped wearing shoes when it's warm out, and sometimes even when it's cold, I can walk over pretty much anything, even like little shards of broken glass, and I think that's a good thing to have. So, I mean, it's because I want to. And I think everyone wants to, but they just won't let themselves. They won't stop smelling roses. And I think they're too worried about, like, other people think. It's kind of like taking your shirt off. It's almost like a self-confidence kind of a thing. And I think a lot of people just find their own feet disgusting. Like, they're just disgusted by feet for some stupid reason. When I go somewhere, I have to take shoes with me if I'm trying to go into a place of business, which is kind of annoying when, you just want to amble on, for a couple miles or whatever, but you got to carry shoes with you because you got to go into business. Not wearing shoes is not unsanitary because you're tracking in the same dirt on the bottom of your feet as you would in the shoe, probably less of it. It's just not logical.
Yeah, I think it's disgusting too. I was brought up that way, Put a shirt on, put shoes on when you eat at the table. This is the way I was brought up.
I feel like people are just culturally programmed to find certain things disgusting, and that's one of them.
Sometimes I'll literally walk everywhere barefoot. Sometimes especially now that it's a lot colder outside, I'll walk into the building with shoes, and then when I sit down into class, I'll take them off and then just carry them around with me. Sometimes I'll even go into the bathroom barefoot, and apparently that's really, really gross, but it doesn't bother me. It's not like I'm gonna lick my feet later or anything. When people meet me, they apparently have a tendency to label me as a 1990s grunge baby hippie, and they always say that it's a combination of my flannel, my love to climb, and my lack of shoes. And so it's always interesting. They don't typically imply the dirty part, but you can kind of tell that in their mind's eye, it's kind of like, oh, well, hippies are, Woodstock, crazy people who like to live outside and roll in mud and stuff. And that's not it at all, but, not wearing shoes.
One lady at one of the little cafes in the school, and she would always give me dirty looks and nasty looks, say, why aren't you wearing shoes? You need to be wearing shoes. What's wrong with you? That's nasty. How can you do that? And I always tell her, it's fine, it's not a problem. She's like, no, it is, I don't like seeing it. then she asked me, "Isn't that dirty?" And I was like, "No, I clean my feet every day." I don't feel that that's a problem really. As far as is it dangerous? Other people ask me if it's dangerous or if I ever hurt my foot stepping on things, and no, you get calluses and you build it up. I can walk on glass and I can walk on, rocks and stuff, and I kind of feel like most people in their shoes don't walk on glass or sharp rocks, or you pay attention where you walk. It's not a problem. And I've even stepped on tacks before, and it just sticks in the callus, and you don't really feel it. Also realize there are times you need to wear shoes, but it's just the way it is. I guess.
Being barefoot is a very liberating experience.
Just feel the grass in your toes. That's all. Why not?